talking about specialized groups, but we had a roadblock come in about how do you deal with company mergers, right? Because I think that's a really interesting group as well, because it's not so much they're leaving an organization, having that clean state, and then being in that mindset to learn everything anew. They're staying with the organization, but it's changing. So maybe we could just address that here. I know that was something that our audience told us they wanted to hear from.
Yeah, that's an excellent point and example of a time when it would be really easy to overlook onboarding because they're not a new hire, but not realizing that they're learning new language, new people, integrating into new systems and processes, just like a new hire would be in a lot of ways. So what I've seen is, if you treat tenured employees, so let's say there's two organizations, there's a lot of tenured employees who are merging together. If you just don't say anything to them, don't give them any background, and then just throw orientation meetings and new hire stuff on their calendar, they're going to feel like, oh, okay, so I'm going to be treated like a complete new hire. My experience, my tenure is just kind of thrown by the wayside and not super important to this new organization, whatever that looks like. It's not going to feel great, right? Like, I would say take the time to have a personal conversation. So even if it's like there's a group meeting and the entity from one of the new organizations is getting together, and you have the opportunity to introduce yourself and get to know people a little bit and say, we've thought a lot about this. We are going to invite you to orientation meetings similar to how we do them for new hires, because there is a lot of new language, processes, faces, so on and so forth, that we think you benefit from hearing from. That's not to diminish your experience or all your contributions, but we think you're so important to our future that it's really important that we align on some of these things that we don't really know about each other fully just yet. So I think just some background, some communication to people is really important, because just like we talked about with centering yourself, if you don't take the time to pause and think, how is this going to look to the person that has no background on what I'm sending over, then a lot of times it could be misconstrued or taken in a way that maybe you hadn't even predicted. And I know it's probably impossible to predict all those different, scenarios or interpretations that could come up. But if you at least just pause and try to think of how this could go, how people may interpret it, then you have that opportunity to get out in front of it and offer something that meets people where they are.